So can you back up to the one that looks like this with different words, somewhere in the middle? Okay, gentlemen, would you come up here, please? Instant classic, everyone. Gentleman and Theo.
Yeah.
So after the 2014 International Convention, that Saturday night between hospitality rooms, I made them work on vowel exercises, and they were mad.
Those are favorites.
Yes. 6 months later, Kyle came back to me and said, "You were right."
I don't remember that.
No, because that night, that's the night Theo came to me and says, "What's next? What's next? I'm hungry." Those were your exact words.
I was hungry for tapas.
No, I misunderstood, but hey, it worked out. So what we're going to do now is, what are we, like 15 minutes in now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be very fast-paced. Stay with me. I know you have questions. Can you please hang on to them until later? So the whole thing is, let's pick the word heart. It's an AH vowel, right? So we want a heart. Yeah, that's lovely, Theo. How about we have Kyle sing the bass part? So Kyle's just going to sing an ah like he would normally sing one in whatever space is. This is not his quartet match voice. It's just Kyle's voice. Okay, now Theo, would you sing the octave? That's in tune, right? So now take it from there, and what Kyle's going to do, because his voice is, isolate one more time, and I'd like you to listen for whether you feel he has more depth or more ping in his sound. What do you think? What do you think? You think he's in the middle? How many think he has more depth than ping? How many of you think he has more ping than depth? How many of you think he's balanced? Yeah, I think you're all
I'm fooling everybody.
Yes, smoke and mirrors. He does have a little more pain than Wolf, but not much, right? Because of years of doing this. Theo, go by yourself. More pain? More Wolf? Balanced. Yeah, again, confused, right? Theo has a little more depth than Ping. It's subtle, and it takes a long time to sort of learn to hear this, but I am a piano technician, right? So I get paid to hear nitpicking things, right? So I'm going to have them sing that octave together, and then I'm going to have Kyle hold still, and I'm going to have Theo move and up the chart, right? So they're singing ah. He will move up the continuum little by little, adding a little toward ah, as in cat, until he finds the exact spot where Kyle is, and then he'll stop, and it will ring better. Everyone hears that, right? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, he did not sing, ah, ah. I'm going to do it in my octave. Ah. There are a lot of gradations in there he could choose. So he just moves the slider until he finds the node, right? But do it the other way now. He'll hold still, and Kyle is going to go down the chart and start heading toward AW, as in all. So all. He'll move the slider until he finds Theo's resonant spot. Right, I see some of you going.
Obviously, that one's better.
Okay.
Well, but then the next question always is, well, how do you know which one to pick? My choice is going to be whatever's pretty well in the middle of the chart, regardless of who is there. Sometimes no one is there and everyone has to adjust. So let's show that. Start where you start, but both of you come to the middle. Both of you compromise a little bit, and we'll see how that sounds. That's the one I want. Did you hear the amplitude spike in that? Yeah. I mean, it almost doubled. And they didn't sing any louder. They're leveraging the maths. Right? So let's throw the fifth chord in there, actually by yourself once, and let's assess Cole's voice. quartet voice or your Cole's voice?
I don't know. Ask me after, dude.
Una más, por favor. What do you think? Tweeters? Woofers? In the middle. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, slightly though, slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people voted twice. What's up with that? You don't live in America. You can't do that. Sorry. Oh. That didn't work as well as I thought it was. I'm joking. Kinda.
Do politics.
Yeah. I didn't. That was non-partisan. Thank you very much. So now I'm going to add the three of them in there, and Cole is a little on the woofer side, so he's going to go which way? He's going to go up the chart a little bit, and he's going to go from ah and add just a little bit of ah in there until he finds the mix. Theo and Kyle, would you go to the last one you did, the compromised one?
Where we met.
Where you both met in the middle, right? And Cole, I'd like you to start on your normal Cole voice and then come into that sound,
Okay.
please. Here we go. Yeah, you do it one more time, just for me. Everybody hear that amplitude spike again? Hi, David. Don't mess it up.
The witch!
The witch! It's the witch! Burn the witch! Burn the witch! More witches!
Sorry. But she turned me into a newt. I got better.
Well, better. Okay, David, by yourself, please, so everyone can kind of hear Dave's voice on the third, please. Is that Dave voice or quartet voice?
It's Dave voice.
Okay, one more time. Woofers, tweeters, balanced. He's pretty balanced, that's right. But there's just a smidge of tweet in there, right? So this is very subtle stuff. And when you start working at this level, right, you know, the refinement of their ears is, they've been doing this for 9 or 10 years now. They've gotten to the point where they almost can't sing in their own voice anymore, which is why I kind of had to ask. But Dave is a little north of the center line here, so he'll come down and add just a smidgen. He'll head toward AW to find their ring. So I'd like you guys to do the match you just did, please, and you do Dave voice and then move it in. Did you hear that? It was pretty subtle because he was pretty close to begin with. One more time, please. Came in about 2 seconds before the end, right? So now with this in mind, now the idea is, right, to have that shape inside the mouth and make as little change as possible to keep that ring in place. Using mostly just the tongue to roll up and down the spectrum. If I'm going to sing ah to ah, I can do that entirely with my tongue. You hear my overtone stack changing? There's a little bit of lip rounding on the AW, but other than that, it's all tongue. And you can hear the overtones going up and down, right? So if and again, the whole idea is if I choose my spot, which is going to be on the woofer side, and I try to sing with Kyle in a bass section who's going to be on the tweeter side, we will be able to sing in tune, but we won't get the maximum ring. Let's, for 1 second, let's Kyle and I be the bass section. We're going to do this in a minute, and Husar is going to join us in a moment also. So we're just going to sing your regular heart. Was clear up there to get it to work. So the question is always going to be, what do I do with my chorus? The answer is, there's one extra step if you're doing this in the chorus. You do the whole bass section like we just did. You do the whole lead section just like we did. You do the whole baritones and tenors, and then you treat them like a quartet and move the whole section as if they're a single singer. That's the extra step for choruses. You guys want to start up here? We're going to say hi to Hussar. Stay close. And in a minute, we're going to make a little mini chorus out of all of them. We'll have an octet. You got it figured out yet?
Almost.
Almost. Okay, we got almost. That's good. All right. So we're not even going to really much talk about the challenges of second language. We're just going to try to find an American vowel that you can execute well. I'll defer to you. What's an American vowel that you feel like you really do well?
I think hard.
Is good. Okay. Let's have lead by yourself, please.
Hard.
What's the assessment? Woofer? Tweeter? Mid-range? Yeah, I agree. Right. So everyone sort of agrees that you're more of a tweeter, which means you have more space in the top half of your vocal tract from the palate to the lips than you have from the vocal folds to the palate, right? So the first thing I might ask you to do is create some more space there and see what happens.
Hard.
The amplitude already spiked just because you have more space there. The voice is already more balanced. And then I will also ask you to, the root of your tongue is disengaged.
Hard.
I like the balanced voice. Jonas, by yourself.
Hard.
One more time, please.
Hard.
Woofers? Tweeters? Balanced? Yeah, he's slightly on the woof side, but he does have some ping, right? So I'll ask you to put just a little bit toward A. That's too far. Right? So the two of you together, you hold still and you move. Too far? Yeah, you went past it and came back. Did you hear it hit and then you went past it? So you'll find it. Try again. So that's now that is now your ah. Your ah is that instead of what it used to be, right? Baritone, by yourself on the fifth, please. Tweeters, woofers, mid-range, right? So he's what he's going to have to do is he's going to have to move also toward A, but further than Jonas did, right? So maybe that far. Yeah. Two of you do what you just did. You start where you do and roll it in there until you find the spot you like. Now sing the vowel you just sang. Did it sound like hard to you? It's smoke and mirrors, people. Smoke and mirrors. Wow. All right, do that one more time just so you get comfortable with it, please. You hold still and you start where you're going to move to the. Yeah, you went past it and came back, right? You went past it and came back. You okay with that? Okay, you got that click saved?
More or less.
More or less. Okay, do it again. And get one more run at it, right? Everybody zone into this because memorize the feeling in your mouth and memorize the auditory stuff. Ingvi, I could use a little more faith. Okay. We can all agree that's a big improvement, right? Okay, tenor by yourself, please, on the third. Tweeters? Woofers? Balanced? Yeah, it's pretty balanced. It's pretty balanced. So you're going to start where you are, and this is an interesting case study, right? So what I'd like you to do is, you guys do what you just did, and you start, and you go up toward A, then you come back to A, then you go back toward AW, and you just kind of find the spot. So you're going to go up and down until you find the spot where the maths work. Several of those things worked, right? So this is the beauty of this kind of thing, right? If the lower three parts have their act together, the tenor can, no pressure, the tenor sometimes has the opportunity to choose the entire overtone profile of the group, especially when someone is close to the center to begin.
Don't give him that responsibility.
It's not a responsibility, it's a right. No, I mean, it's an option. I mean, it's one of these things where that little demonstration there shows that no matter what's going on under them, don't discount how important the top voice is in creating the mood. Because you can create the more brilliant mood if it's a swing tune, or if it's a point in a ballad where the emotion needs to be big, then you want to float up, right? And if it's a point where the voicing is low and the mood is different, you can kind of shade down a little bit and change the mood all by yourself. But that requires you guys being extremely consistent. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah. David, don't get any ideas.
It's already happening.
Actually, get all the ideas.
Yeah.
Get all the ideas. So, how are we doing on time? About half past?
Yeah.
Okay. I have two more major things I want to do. Address what order I want to do them in. Actually, I'm going to stay with you for a second. The exercise we did yesterday. What I oftentimes have quartets do is I'll have them sing that same chord in whatever key is comfortable, and have them repeat any vowel from the column randomly at the same time, so that the bass might be singing on, the baritone might be singing and so on and so forth. And the purpose of this exercise is to get those vowels to be as similar as possible. I'll demonstrate what we normally do is last lost love, last lost love, last lost. Preferably what I'd like to have is everything as close to ah as possible. Last lost love, lost love, last. For the overtone series is in the same spot. Understand the assignment? Okay, so we're just going to do the chord over and over and sing any of those. Ah, aw. No, not love. Love is in the next column.
You were saying love.
Did I say love? I'm so sorry. It's early. Yeah.
It's in the afternoon.
It's 5 o'clock at my house. Leave me alone. 7 o'clock. So last, lost, long. Here we go. Last, lost, lost, long, last, lost, long, last, lost. Everyone on the lost? That was right. So sing last. I'm saying sing lost, and then go to last. Sing lost, last. Lost, last. That was pretty good, but the tenor went a little too far. There was too much difference between your two. Here we go. Make it as similar as you can. Lost, last. See how that's a little better? I think Kyle likes it. Yeah, there were different tones happening. Was over there. So now lost and long, AH to AW, lost long. Here we go. It took a second to wiggle in, right? So what if you didn't listen to it? What if you just knew that your overtone stack was going to be exactly the same on both? That wasn't me, I promise. Theo says that's garbage. That means he likes it.
Rubbish.
Rubbish. Rubbish. Not bad for American.
Not good.
Rubish? No. Rubik's Cube. So how does that feel on the inside, right? And the last instruction I gave was, what if you didn't think about it, essentially? And Soren went, oh, before they sang, right? And said, oh, wait, I don't have to think. I mean, that's a typical baritone answer, right? No, you don't have to think. So, how about we make an octet out of these guys?
Yeah.
Oh, and while you're coming up, I'll keep explaining that I give them that exercise is valid on all four of the groupings, right? The second group would be let, love, low, add, o, which all live. The first one on the left-hand side lives at the bottom of the mouth, like ah, it rings in the bottom center. The next group is further up. The next group is further up yet. Right. So the first assignment in this whole technique is to take everything on the top and bring it to the center, and everything on the bottom and bring it to the center. And so my voice, which naturally lives down here somewhere, means that I'm going to have to constantly move everything this way to get to the center. And Kyle's voice is the opposite. His voice lives up here a little bit, so he's constantly going to have to move it this way to get toward the center. A few of the guys on stage here are actually toward the center. One, two, maybe Jonas. Those are the three that are probably the closest to the center, right? And everybody else has to make adjustments. Everyone's making slight adjustments. So for now, I'm just going to try something I've never tried before. We're going to have the entire octet do the randomized vowel exercise on let, love, and low. Let, love, low. But make them all as similar as you can. Another way to think about this is, as you're doing this, rather than trying to fit in with everyone else, try to monitor your own overtone stack through your bone conduction, and don't let your stack change, right? Stay in your own lane. It's like a swim meet. Let, love, low. Everyone on love. That's glorious. That is, it's just a try it, dude. As Deke Sharon said, barbershop is the martial art of a cappella. And we pay a whole lot more attention to all this geeky, nerdy stuff than anyone else in the singing world. Anyone else. And it's sort of our brand, right? Because the ringing chords, you know, what was it Theo said the other day? It's not a singing contest, it's a ringing contest. That's kind of funny, also kind of inaccurate, but also kind of funny. I like it. It's absolutely true. But the fact remains that if you learn how to ring like this, there is an advantage, because a rising tide lifts all boats. You know, everyone is going to be happier if they're not distracted by things like mismatched voices or things being out of tune. And the other benefit of this actually is you sing better in tune. I mean, you know, the IC guys will tell you that their tuning got so much better. Like the little perky things that make you go like this in the middle of a phrase were suddenly gone, because the voices weren't popping all over the mouth, which caused things to drift in pitch, sometimes up, sometimes down. So everybody on love, let, love. Everybody, love let. Okay, baritones, I think I'd like to make one tweak up the chart. And how about that? A little more height. Okay, 4 more guys and we have a chorus.
There you go.
Live, learn, look. Now, with learn, we sing or world a lot. That's the target word we sing. The trick with that vowel is to not sing the R, right? This is a tongue
Challenge here.
Yeah, it's for some of us, similar to we speak. We have to keep the tongue out of the way. Learn. In the American South, R is hard. Learn, right? Or in some places in the Northeast in America, it's a fight. And some places here, I'm sure the accent, the R is very hard. Or some places the R is missing. Right? There's no R in that, right? Learn, but you have to keep the tongue down in there. And I have no idea about Danish, so I'm just going to let you self-police that one. Live, learn, look. Here we go. I mean, that's and you know, we laugh, but what if that were normal? What if that were not the, oh my gosh, we got it once? What if that were the default? And that's what IC's been working toward for the last 9 or 10 years, as that been the default. And sometimes, you know, well, last night in the Quartetorium, they started the first song and went, oh, the default was just pristine, right? It doesn't always work, right? But man, you gotta keep, you know, you gotta have something to work on, right? This is art. There is no goal line. There is no finish line. There's always a tweak. There's always something to work on. I'm always learning better how to do this. They're helping me learn how to do this. I help them how to learn to do this. So how about we sing "Heart of My Heart"? A couple of phrases. Hitch, somebody. Maybe 2 or 3 phrases, but, and here's the challenge, right? The challenge for Hussar, who's just now learning this, is to find, I'm going to encourage you to just, once you find the shape, don't move the shape. The word sounds might sound a little funny to you, and like you're not used to, just roll with it. It's more about your overtone stack than it is the actual vowel. Here we go. Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you. That's pretty good, pretty good. So now I was anticipating more of a problem with with the. Are you technically Scandinavian? Is that correct? The Scandinavian languages with the oohs and all of their umlauts and things that are. They have more sounds in that spectrum than we do. We just have ooh, pretty much. And they have ooh, and all that business, right? I'm sorry if that was offensive. but I'm probably not wrong. Good, is that what you said?
You said get him.
I used to run track, just so you know. Used to. So on the ooh vowel, can we just go to that last word, ooh, right? So could I just hear the Danes on the ooh? So you can hear there's more of an umlautish quality in the tenor voice, again. And there's a little less of an umlautish quality in the bass voice, right? So the reason I use the German umlaut on the vowel chart is just as a placeholder. We don't actually sing that one, except for you. Because, yes, right, yeah. Because E and U are just, an umlaut is simply just half of each, right? So I use that as a launching point. We sing the umlaut in order to, if you subtract the E, you're left with the U. If you subtract the U, you're left with the E. Instead of having E and U, E and U, they're very close to umlaut. But I would not like a pure umlaut, please, because that's confusing to the ear. But that is a good place to start. This is one of the challenges with Scandinavian vowels. So everybody on that chord, you. Let's divide and conquer. Basses. More depth, please, Jones. With the baritones. Baritones alone, please. Yeah, that's a little Scandinavian, right? You see, we find a little more American in it. Yeah. Okay, good. Bottom, bass clef. That's cleaner. Leads. Yeah, still more depth. I'll take that. Tenors. Nice adjustment. Dave, a little more toward the center. Everybody. There we go. Hear the difference in that? The hardest one for almost everyone, at least Americans, is the E and U, because we really want to sing like we speak, and that's not going to be effective. Like we speak, I really do want to sing like. And my first chorus, this is no lie, was "Heart of my heart, I love you." That is not exaggerated. Yeah, hard R's and you. So we had to, the director finally said to us, you have to sing with an accent. You have a singing accent, okay, which is different from your speaking accent. And then it finally clicked for a lot of the guys in the chorus. So the reason I chose this song, because I knew the U was going to be a challenge. But see how quickly they adapted, all of them? We moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the voices. And they all went boom, now we have it. Now can you click save that oo? And every time you come to an oo, that's where it belongs. Top of the mouth, some of us do it by feel, right? Some of it we just feel the shape and feel the sound in a certain part of the mouth. Others of it are auditory, and we hear what's going on around us, and others of us yet still sort of just feel what's going on in our own voice, in the vibration of the resonant chambers. Any of those is fine. As long as you get there, it doesn't matter how you get there. Choose your own adventure. Heart of my heart. Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you. Light of my life, my darling, I love you. I love you. I can forget you.
I have a question.
Okay, Theo has a question.
So it's interesting because when it's one and a part, I'm listening for how my voice fits in with the harmony. And I think I started that way in the beginning of Heart of My Heart, but then I realized that if I just focus in with my other lead voice and find that match, everything else fell into place. So is that an observation that one should make in chorus versus quartet? Or is that just where I'm at on my particular journey now, and eventually the goal is still going to be, how does my voice fit in with the whole chorus sound?
Everything you said is absolutely correct.
I know.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Humility. Well, but all of those things are correct. Yes, at this point in understanding, especially since these guys are fairly new, brand new to the concept, right? They're probably sort of trying to find everybody else. At this point, let me draw the distinction between listening and hearing. Right? We listen to fix or adjust. We hear to observe, right? So to your first question, should the lead section be its own thing? Yes. That's what I was saying earlier about the extra step. If the lead section dials into itself and just that's the thing, and then you don't listen to everyone else, right? You hear the rest of the singers, but you're just dialed into the lead section. If every section did that for a moment and just trusted wherever the section ended up, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I need to make the whole chorus sound good, why don't you try that?
So I was going to say, would you say that's the first step in this equation is
right.
Sectional first as we're listening and hearing?
Right. And the reason is you want every section eventually to be so unified that then you can treat the chorus as a quartet. And the whole section. Right? So for now, the exercise this time, let's just do a couple of phrases of it. The exercise is to, section unity is the exercise.
Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you. Light of my life, my darling, I love you. I love you.
Is that a little better? Is that a better experience for you? It was a better experience for me. Was it for you? What did you notice? What did you notice, you guys?
I found myself on like the big chords, you know, the ones we're ending each phrase on. I found myself finding him first, and then letting everyone, like inviting everyone else's sound into my brain. Like I'm kind of focusing here, but then after that is when I listen to the rest of the quartet or the octet.
Interesting. Okay.
I feel like I'm sorry. You go ahead.
Oh, thanks. I experienced the same thing that you talked about earlier with, you know, finding this helps this. So by us just being together, everything sort of naturally finds its way.
And kind of an interesting thing is I was able to shade like darker instead of brighter to find him a little bit better than say Kyle.
Right.
You know, it's a very different voice, and so it was kind of like interesting to play in a different area for me.
Right.
And then you can obviously we find that sound we move together.
Exactly.
Hand
In some ways, it's the listening is the sectional part of it. Listening to make sure that you're kind of finding that together, and then as I'm hearing, I hear when I listen that it fits better collectively.
Right.
Like, oh, when I do this, I can feel the ring better.
And eventually, you know, if a chorus does go down this path, right? If you guys had sing together, you know, for a couple months every week for a rehearsal or something, eventually you'll get to the point where you will trust that you know where it actually goes, and then you don't even have to think about the section stuff, right? There's a getting to know each other point. You're courting right now, right? You know, you have to sort of figure out how the voices work together.
Courting.
Courting.
It's kind of both, right?
Courting and courting.
Courting
Yes.
and courting.
Shut up. This is what I have to deal with.
I'm here to.
We're deaf.
But looking down the road, you're correct. You know, once you have that sort of unity as a normal thing, then it becomes a matter of trust, which is the next point I want to make. Right? So you guys that are just learning this, it's going to be a while before you sort of get this under your feet. It'll take you 6 months to a year to sort of start to understand it. But then you dig into it, and all of a sudden you wake up one day and you go to rehearsal and everything falls into place automatically. You're like, wow, what happened? and then it becomes automatic. But if you constantly work on it, and never take the opportunity to trust it, that will frustrate you. So I'm going to lay that out there for you. Yes?
Can we try once more where you said you had to sort of find me in the darker space? Can we go once more where I actively so we try to aim for sort of just above the
Yeah, and I do have one thing, what I did with Instant Classic, I found their spot. And what I did with Hussar, I found their spot. But the two quartet spots are not necessarily in the same place. And I think that's what's we're feeling up here. What I told you a minute ago isn't working now. Oh my gosh, what do I do? Right? So this is a little more complex, right? So we want to get, what do we do? Do we leave Instant Classic alone and have them move? Do we leave Hussar alone and have them move? Do we compromise to the middle? I think for now, let's leave Hussar alone, because you're brand new to this, and we'll have IC sort of move to their voices, and let's just see what happens. Hold that question.
Oh, that was exactly.
That was your thing? Okay, all right.
Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Now do it the other way. IC hold still in your quartet voice, you guys find them.
Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you.
That one wasn't quite as blended, because you're kind of new to the concept still. You're new to the concept. But you see it was a different ring, wasn't it? Slightly, but it was different. How are we doing on time?
Okay, confidence.
Can you try one where you say switch?
Switch what way?
So if we start with the matching this sound and then you say switch, then they try to match.
Sure, why not? Okay, we'll start out with the Danish sound, we'll call it.
Let's get this out.
Heart
of my heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you. Light of my life, my darling, I love you. I love you.
Well, Instant Classic knew that was coming, because that's how I am.
I feel like that'd be a wonderful exercise actually for a chorus. Maybe not like that many times, like just like bam, 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 but it forces, I guess, the people within your chorus to like, okay, now we're listening, now we're, I don't know, I feel like it'd be a nice exercise to just, to really get them to think as opposed, because sometimes in choruses, right, people, we
Right.
just sing, we're not listening, we're just going through the motions, right?
It was a much more structured way of pinpointing specific spots on the chart to try and find them. I felt like each time you switched, it was better, except for when you tricked us.
I mean, did you really not know that was coming? Right. So, but what I noticed was the two sounds were pretty markedly different. When we did them and stopped and talked in between, you couldn't really tell. But when you go one phrase to the next, it was like, there's this sound and there's this sound, and they're both really good. And which highlights the fact that there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. It's fitted, tailored to each individual group. I'd like to, if we could, could I get IC to sing like the introduction to Bye Bye Blues for me? You up for that? The reason I'm asking for that is that you guys can stay up there. Stay up there. I'm not done with you yet. And the reason I'm asking is last night in the Quartatorium they sang this and it was amazing. Simply because they were so zoned into what what's going on with their voices. Just the introduction is okay. Is that okay?
Yep.
I've been so lonely and blue, but now I'm through. I'm telling all my blues goodbye.
So did you notice how confident they were? Did you notice how automatic that was? That's what is eventually going to be your goal, right? Is to be so comfortable that you don't have to think about it and everything just falls into place. And if one person, the other thing I will mention is, if one person is like challenged for range issues or someone's not feeling well that day, this tool will allow you to adjust to them. There, on the tag of Start of Something Big, David was up on a high D sharp, and he said, guys, I can't sing an A vowel up there. I just can't. At that volume, at that pitch, at that level of stamina at the end of the song, I can, and they said, okay, what can you do? And he said, well, something like Grand is closer to what I can do. So they all moved, and the entire audience finishes the word for you. They think it's grand, right? Because that's our little secret. Shh, don't tell anybody. And nobody knew except them and me. And if you go back and listen to the contest recording of that from 2015, that is one of the most screaming, popping, ridiculous overtone tags I've ever heard in my barbershop career, and I've been doing this 40 years. And it's because they matched the resonance and deferred to the person that was boxed in. And sometimes it happens to basses when they get low, sometimes it happens to leads on posts, sometimes it happens to baritones when they're high. You know, it doesn't matter for whatever reason. If you feel like you can't accomplish the target vowel, it's okay to move it as long as you all move it to the same place. You guys have any comments on
One, we also, it's over.
that? Are we over time?
Yeah, the one thing I was gonna say is just, instead of saying, and now I'm through, it was, now I'm through, is what I was singing.
Yeah, especially in that one because it's more of a, an exciting uptune opener. Now I'm through. It's just not. It's going to completely come out of the sound versus a now I'm through. It has to have the same ring.
Did you hear the umlaut in his ooh?
Now I'm through.
Okay, end on a high note, right? How about a big hand for both quartets? Thank you so much for coming. I think there's another class happening here maybe at 1:30, so thank you so much.
All right.